In the dusty heart of South Dakota, back in 1935, a teenage boy named David Humphreys Miller did something few white Americans had ever done. He listened. He was just 16 years old when he first visited the Pine Ridge Reservation, home of the Oglala Lakota. But this was no ordinary visit, and David was no ordinary teen. With a sketchpad in one hand and curiosity in the other, he set out to preserve the memories of a fading generation, the native warriors who fought at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. David immersed himself in their world. He didn't just paint portraits. He learned 14 native languages, including Plains Indian Sign Language. He lived among them, ate with them, learned their stories, and earned something very few outsiders ever did: their trust. So much so that he was adopted into 16 different Lakota families, and over the years he interviewed and painted 72 native veterans of that legendary battle. Most were already in their 70s, 80s, some older. These were the last living witnesses to one of the most iconic clashes in American history. In 1948, David brought together the final 9 native survivors of the Battle of the Little Bighorn, a gathering no one else could have made happen. Among them were names like Little Soldier, Dewy Beard, High Eagle, and Black Elk. But one man's story stood out from the rest: a warrior named White Cow Bull. White Cow Bull claimed he had faced General Custer himself at the river crossing that fateful day in 1876. He described it clearly. He remembered the soldiers' pale skin, the dust rising from their horses, the man in a buckskin jacket who seemed to lead the charge, likely Custer. According to White Cow Bull, when that man pointed and shouted, the cavalry surged forward. Gunfire erupted. White Cow Bull took aim with his repeater rifle and fired. He saw the man in the buckskin jacket fall from his saddle and hit the water. Was that man Custer? No one can say for certain, but White Cow Bull believed it was, and David Humphreys Miller carefully recorded every word. As the battle raged on, more warriors arrived to defend their families. According to the account, Custer's men tried to regroup on the far bank, but the Lakota and Cheyenne resistance was overwhelming. White Cow Bull said the soldiers retreated up the ridge, and the tide of history turned against them. After the battle, White Cow Bull found the body of a soldier he believed was the same man he'd shot. As he approached, he considered taking a piece of the man's trigger finger, not out of cruelty, but as a kind of medicine to strengthen his aim. But when an elder woman told him, "This man is our distant relative," and gently placed awls in the fallen soldier's ears so he could hear better in the spirit world, White Cow Bull quietly stepped away. These aren't just war stories. They are threads in the complex fabric of American memory. Thanks to the quiet work of a teenage artist who chose to listen rather than judge, we can still hear these voices today. If you found this story powerful, consider subscribing for more untold chapters of Native American history. These voices deserve to be heard and remembered.